For the past between 21 to 25 years, I've gone on strike for 4 years, cumulative of all of the different days. Where are
Yeah.
we?
So these are some of the issues we want to look at. How have we fared these 65 years? We're going to be looking at the gains and the strengths so far, the key challenges and the weaknesses, private sector and innovations. Now, he talked about the public schools, a particular state, doing pretty well with public schools. How far we got. Some of the key challenges, we're looking at the underfunding issue. We're talking about the out of school situation, the quality of education, retention and completion and transition. These are areas we have to pay attention to. Now, looking at the higher schooling institutions and spread. Since independence, there has been a huge expansion in institutions. That's primary schools, secondary schools, teacher training colleges, polytechnics, universities, and vocational technical schools. Now, education is more widely available across states than it was in 1960, no doubt about it. But how far, how well equipped are these? It's a fact that we have so many institutions. Look at 1960, that time you have UI, that's University of Ibadan, and later on, I think in 1963 or so, the UNN, okay, well, Ibadan was established in 1948.
Yeah.
1948. And then I think in 1962, UNN was established. And thereafter, we have a lot of universities. Today we have universities. The latest one here, and that's part of the Niger State University, the Bayelsa Medical University. So there have been a lot of technical schools, vocational schools, colleges, and all of that since 1960. But how far are they doing? How well are they doing? Public awareness of importance of education is increased, no doubt about it. Every parent wants to send their child to school. This morning we were discussing before we came on air that we saw a young girl, probably a teenager, helping her mother to sweep, the road early in the morning. And then sometimes it'd be difficult for such parents to take their children or send their kids or that child to the university because of the income, right? But the child still forces or that child tries to get to the university. At the end of the day, it becomes a burden to family members, uncles, aunties to pay their school fees. And we were saying that, look, why don't you find a way to go learn a skill since your parents do not have the means to train you to the university because it's a whole lot of money. Recently, we heard that some people are protesting at the Federal University of Twaga over the increase of their school fees and all of that. And so when you aren't able to pay for the school fees, right, you become a burden to other people. You want uncles, brothers, and sisters, to come help you pay the school fees and all of that. Why don't you go learn a skill to be able to take care of certain things so that you'll be able to train yourself perhaps in the future. If you want to go for part-time or something else, you can do that later on. But they go to school because of the awareness. The public awareness of going to school has increased since 1960. That's what we're saying. And talking about literacy levels, the non-literate population is estimated at about 31%. That in 2022, down from 38% in 2015. So now literacy level has actually improved. It was 38% in 2015, but now it is about 31% in 2022. I think now it's better. The youth literacy ages 15 to 24 has been better. That is 73.7% in 2021. That's the last time they got that statistic. So our young people are actually going to school. Example what I just gave you. You don't have money, but you find yourself in the university just because of that public awareness. And quite a number of other things. Public literacy, public policy frameworks too. We have the University Basic Education programs. The goal is to make basic education free and compulsory. In some states, education is free up to this moment at the secondary school level for public schools, actually. But then there are a lot of challenges that we could look at. Paul, I know you have quite a number of other things rolled out for you there. We'll talk about digital literacy is being targeted. The government aims for 70% digital literacy by 2027. It's not been the same, okay, as the world evolves. Nigeria is also evolving, but then the speed at which we're moving is a bit slow, right? It's slower than we are supposed to move because this is a modern age. The 21st century, people are moving. And of course, we are trying to get involved and blend into the situation, into the digital space, but then how far? It's a bit slow. Now, talking about the growing private sector and innovations, private schools, NGOs, are growing on a daily basis, but putting a lot of pressure on the common man or the common people because of money, lack of money. Not everybody has the money to send their kids to the private institution or private schools because the public schools are dilapidated. not working. Just like you just mentioned, they're not functioning very well. And so some parents who want the best for their kids will not want them to go to the public schools, but they have the money to fund them in the private schools. That's another conversation on its own so far.
So, in the midst of everything, while we're talking this morning, we said we right now, presently, as a country or as an African continent, we have, let me just bring it home to Nigeria, we're giving credence to qualification, to certificates. That's what everybody wants to ensure that you go there. The question now is, we are doing courses in our universities or high institutions that somewhat somehow might not be relatable when they come out when they graduate from those schools. So those things, but we'll have the conversation. We'll continue with these things when we come back from this break.
This is your golden moment. 97.5 Golden FM, the gold standard of radio.
In memory of our father, late DSP Alamisia, who passed into glory 10 years ago, in line with his vision and spirit of service to humanity, and to commemorate his legacy, there will be a free health care checkup service to our people as follows: Amasoma Town Hall, Ogubiri Town Hall, Obia Brotherhood Town Hall, Obia Town. Date: Thursday, 9th October 2025. Time: 10 a.m. prompt. Announcer: DSP Alamisia Foundation.
In recent years, allocations have been around 5 to 9%, depending on the year. But UNESCO says at least 15%. 50% is the least you could go. So between 15 and 20%. So if you're producing a budget, the budget, education should be 15 to 20% of that budget. But we've been between 5 and 9%. That means we don't be paying attention to education in Nigeria these 65 years. It has not changed. Even with the coming of democracy in 1999, it has not changed. It's between 5 to 9%. Far below. And that's why the international community do not believe in our educational system. Even when they know that we've got the best hands, they feel that the system there is not working because you're not investing in education underfunding. So the gap between what is budgeted and actually disbursed is also a problem in Nigeria. Budgeted funds not reaching schools or not used well. So you can ask the question, how are our unity schools, our federal schools, federal colleges, federal secondary schools, how are they faring? And we just talked about ASU going on strike, warning strike, on the 13th of October, on Monday, next week. It falls under this key challenge and weakness: underfunding. ASU is saying that the federal government currently, the federal government led by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has not paid any attention to the demands of the academic staff of the universities, whether they be federal universities or state universities, the ASU. And because of that, they will be embarking on a warning strike on October 13, 2025, on Monday. Warning strike. And then from warning strike is going to be indefinite strike. You know how it is if the government does not pay attention. So it's a big problem. So, Paul, look at it, 5 to 9%. And then the actual amount, looking at the fast pace of the world, the way the world is going, 15% of your budget or 20% of your budget should be to education. But that is what Nigeria is not paying attention. For 65 years, we've not paid attention to this particular sector, and we have dwindled in our educational quality.
That's why somehow when people are talking about educational sector, we thank God that over the period of time, you reeled out some stats. We have thousands of high institutions across Nigeria. Whether private and public, we also have thousands of our secondary schools. We have even those for the primary schools and all the things. Those are numbers, those are figures. But figuratively, how many of those schools, let's just take away the private schools, because those are individual businesses that are thoughts, deemed fit to go into the sector to make it work, to really get to bridge the gap. But in the midst of all of these different conversations, how many of our public schools, like I mentioned, are being funded properly? if you have the budget, the total budget of the country in a year, and you have 5 to 9%, which is supposed, this is practically in, if you're going to be doing your scorecard, the score sheet, that's 30% practically. You're doing 30% of the approved 15 to 20% that's been UNESCO approved, If you have 30% of what you're supposed to be out of 100%, you can't do much. That's why you want to go across our states, the statistics of the country, including the FCT, and you see where, sadly, some schools, some in the rural areas, you see some schools, children are sitting on the floor to learn. How do you learn that way? And these are supposed to be, because one thing about the education has different stages and different times. For the primary education, this is where it is fundamental. You have the formative cognitive stage happening there. If these people are not learning properly, and the situations and the circumstances around them are not even done properly, there's going to be a scar on the thoughts and the learning process. Education, practically, talks about the leading out of the innate and inborn potentialities of a child that makes him or her useful to society at large. But if the process and the procedure of bringing out those potentials, innate and inborn potentials of that child, is not done the right way, with the conducive environment and the instrumentals that he or she needs to really understand his terrain and to get him better, he cannot, when he is grown, he cannot give back to that society. But the sad part is that over the years, over the 65 years, we've had some of our leaders being benefactors, beneficiaries, rather beneficiaries of these so-called things. Some of our leaders were sponsored, by states. They went abroad for scholarships. It was there.
Many of them.
Many of them. The Old River said, my father was a beneficiary of the Old River State, and he went to study in East London. He went there, he studied, and he came back. And he came back to society, and he gave back to society. To the point where during his burial, we had to we gave them white chalkboards in the schools. Why? It is something that is, you're giving back in return. That is what education means. But when we, in this time and season, we are giving 5%, or the most we're doing is 9% from our budget, it means that we are not paying attention to the necessary things. Let me also let you know that the out of school children, the total out of school children in Nigeria so far is 18.3 million. 18.3 million. And the age, the primary, that is the developmental, where they're starting the age, the time, how many of them are there? 10.2 million Nigerians nationally are out at the primary schools.
Yes.
Then you have 8.1 million for the junior secondary schools. And a huge number of those ones out of schools, many of them are from where? The
northeast.
The northeast.
Northwest.
So you are seeing this thing, it is startling.
Due to insecurity, poverty, and socio-cultural
But also, in the midst of all of these different things, let me also let you know that the breakdown of these things, these people, some of them, the breakdown, Southwest has some figures, very interesting figures. You have people that you're talking about over 700,000 persons out of schools, 682 in different schools, Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Ondo, Osun. And
what about the South? Do you have any?
The South, of course, the South is there, but the most important thing is that the Southeast has the least number
out of school.
So, what's going on? It means that people are very intentional and deliberate about doing these things. So, if the funding, firstly, is not appropriate, then you cannot have the facilities.
Absolutely. And that's what we are saying. In Bayelsa as well, we do have the out-of-school children as well. And what is the government doing about it? Because we're talking about 65 years of existence and, of course, 29 years of creation of Bayelsa State. So attention needs to be paid to this particular sector. Talking about the quality of education, even for those in school. Yeah, you're talking about out-of-school children, right?
Yep.
We want to bring those people into school. But now let's talk about those already in school. What is the quality of education? Let's start from the primary school. What is the quality? The learning outcomes are weak. very weak. You just said it. You just mentioned it. They learn sitting on the floor. The mental state is affected.
Very
They
true.
are not growing well. You know, you can imagine yourself learning sitting on the floor. You're not growing well. You just feel this is how the society should be, but that's not true. The children grow like in rural areas. They sit down, they feel that's the normal thing.
Yep.
When they leave that environment to other environments, wow, okay, yeah. Even in Nigeria, they start feeling that they are in a different world. They are in a different. Now, if you move from here to other classrooms abroad, you begin to wonder: are we on Earth? You know, things like that. So the learning outcomes are weak. Many children complete primary school without the mastery of basic reading, writing, numeracy skills. I'm talking about kids in the rural areas, and this education should be for all. For all, it shouldn't be for those in the city. In the city, okay. Now, if you are talking about in the city, you want to make a disparity between the private schools and the public schools. That becomes another problem. Those in the public schools, do they benefit? Do they have what's the learning outcome? Weak. A few private schools could meet the standard, but still weak. Still very, very weak. The teacher shortages. Yesterday we had a World Teachers Day.
Yep.
They came in here. The comrades were here. They talked about it. The teacher shortages, poor teacher training, irregular professional development, also a big problem and it's affecting the quality of education. The infrastructure is often poor. You talk about roofing leak. A core member the other day here in Bayelsa State in Swale, as his own contribution, fixed the roof and the buildings of a secondary school owned by the government here in Yanagua at Swale. It was a core member that fixed it as part of his own contribution, CDS or something, Community Development Program.
Yeah.
That is it. Infrastructure is often poor, dilapidated school buildings, lack of laboratories, libraries, toilets, clean water. Do we even have a library, a functional library here in Yanagua? Do we even have a functional library?
You took the question out of my mouth. The question now is fundamentally, we are having people go through the textbook thingy and the understanding rather than the practicals.
Absolutely.
Because you just see, like, you're reading. You teach our children computers. There are no computers there. That's why even the thought of even bringing the CBT thing to the JAM and the WAEC and SSC, people are wondering how feasible is it? We had a WAEC situation, the last exam that I was reading, and extension for the English paper to the ninth. And how many of our public schools had the generator set to put up the things?
I heard that they were using touches.
That's what it's.
Touches.
It shows you the level of
lanterns in the local rural areas.
That for me, that was the height of it all. That was the height of it all. So now
65 years.
65. So, but the truth of the matter is, we have numbers. One thing for sure, we have numbers going through. So it's when people see the numbers, we have 10 million graduates. Oh, that is nice. But the 10 million graduates you're bringing forth,
what's the quality of education they received?
And we have to now include the content of the curriculum. What's in our curriculum? How on earth? See, there are basic. See, for me, let's bring it out. It's not as though one wants to shake any table or anything. Let us be very factual with ourselves. There are some courses we're doing in the universities presently.
Unnecessary.
Presently, I'm not wanting to undermine any course.
I understand.
But the truth of
unnecessary.
the matter is, how will it reflect or relate with our present day economy right now? The curriculum is supposed to be infused with the problems that are pertinent in a society that will now have solutions,
peculiar
problems
in that environment.
In that environment,
Yeah.
and you have structured, well outlined solutions so that those that go through that training, remember, education, it is formal and informal. So those that go through the formal training will come out and be solution providers. But how on earth we're having these things all because you just want to go? I'm in the university. What course do you want to study? I'm just doing.
You know that's a normal.
You know that.
Wait a minute. Let me give you an example.
Oh,
a
goodness.
social media guy called Jojo Felani. I mean, you probably would have watched these videos.
Yep.
When you normally go to campuses to interview some graduates, you see how they mess up. They ask them simple questions they can't answer, and they are graduates. It's graduate. That is the quality of education. and it is 65 years of existence. So the question now is, Paul, before you say that, I'm pained because you know what? Sometimes I begin to wonder: should we have left the Britain? Should we have been independent in the first place?
Yes, we should.
So how far has it helped us?
Because the people that even moved for the motion for our independence were educated people.
They were educated, but then they would be so disappointed
Okay.
in our state
So,
right now.
So that's why
They would have wished we remained with the British.
And I think I might differ from.
I
might
know
differ
you
from
will.
that.
It's okay
Yes,
to differ.
I understand.
But the state, we have not managed ourselves to this
Should
point.
be
65
told.
years of being
Should be
independent,
told.
we've not been able to manage ourselves.
Yes, the proper right management in everything we're talking about. When you want to give credence to the education sector, you understand that the most important resource that you have is human resources. But as a country, have we really sat down to think about that?
No, we have not.
That's the thing.
No, we have not.
Because if you have thought that the mind is one resource that we could train, develop, culture, program, and process to the point where it begins to churn out the best answers. Like they say, it's garbage in, garbage out in computer, and you're doing these things. And these minds, just imagine that we say 18.1 million out of school children. So imagine that we have 10 million in school children coming out, and these are 10 million world changers.
Problem solvers. Because the content of our curriculum has been there. Even if you are teaching Izon, the Izon you are teaching is the fact that you're teaching Izon, you're teaching them in Nimbe, and it's telling them that as a Nimbe child, that you were born to cause a change and add value and content to the Nimbe Kingdom and Bayelsa Land, also the Niger Delta. And transport and of course export
Excellence.
what you have here, your knowledge and everything. So the world.
Excellence.
So that's what we're waiting for.
Not thuggery.
Great.
Not nonchalance, not the lackadaisical attitude, not the get rich or die trying thing. When we do those kind of things, it's a mindset, it's a change. We'll get better.
But Paul, look at this now. You mentioned curriculum,
Yep.
and I quite agree with you. Because these days you have different things happening. You go to some schools. This is British Montessori
Welcome on board.
curriculum stuff.
Welcome on
And they
board.
go to another school. This one is the American curriculum. We are using the American curriculum. Some schools say, "Oh, we're using the British Montessori curriculum, whatever." No coordination. 65 years. We look like people who are confused.
That's why I said that
Very confused.
The institutions that are supposed to be rightfully empowered to be strong to effect the changes. Some schools are going to be, okay, example, in the emergence of a private school, you have to go through some inspection, and they will check your facilities, check all of the different things. There are some checklists you will go through. Some people I've seen. See, I was in Lagos, where some persons were hustling for private primary school to be established. They went to hire the playground things, so that when inspectors came, it was going to be approved.
And then after everything,
After the inspectors came and left, it's
it's a Nigerian thing to be insincere. It's a Nigerian thing to be insincere, dishonest.
So
It's affected the educational system as well.
So the educational sector now, we're supposed to be having on the spot checks without being told. Just go there and see. Let's get to see what's happening. Did you not hear in the case of in Bayelsa where the governor went? and
Yes,
just
unexpected.
unexpected.
You just get there to see things
I
for
need
yourself.
to know. The idea is when they tell you these things,
You
they'll
get-
bring reports for you.
Oh yeah.
They'll bring pictures for you. Pictures these days. Thank God for AI.
Yeah.
Thank God for AI. All it takes is for me to I'll concoct a drone this, and you just say these are the things happening.
Wow.
But we have to look at. I'll say what I'm saying is 65 years so far, until we see that the most important resource in a nation are the human resources, and we can inject the right things educationally to make them be better. we'll just keep moving in a round circle.
Now, before we open the phone line, let me just quickly read out this, on the Punch newspaper. So, barring any last-minute change, the Academic Staff Union of Universities will on Monday, October 13, 2025, commence a 2-week nationwide warning strike to press home its demands from the federal government. Now, according to the national president, Professor Chris Piwuna of ASU, he said the National Executive Council of our unit at its emergency meeting of 28th September 2025, having evaluated the results of the referendum held across branches, resolved to give government a 14-day ultimatum to resolve the issues contained in a negotiated document transmitted to government since February 2025. And then, of course, he went on to say that I regret to inform you that there is no meaningful development deserving any consideration to be reported. So the federal government has not paid attention to what the Academic Staff Union is asking, all for the growth of the sector, And remember, right now, no public university, publicly owned university, is in the top 1,000 universities in the world. No Nigerian public university.
When
The last one was a private university.
When we're underfunded,
Underfunded?
when we don't have facilities, when we have the percentage of what we're doing is 5 to 9%.
And the only one
Don't forget that the budget. See, from the budget, the money that is budgeted, it has to do with the public sector, our education. So the fundings, those are the things we're talking about. Now, going back to ASU, question is, how long will it be for? The conversation has to be, questions that go for ASU. How long are you going to be agitating for these things? And why you are asking for your remuneration, which is right. A laborer is worthy of his wages. I don't take that away from you. You're doing that. Can you also ask for the state of the facilities?
That's exactly what you're asking for. It's a full package.
So in the midst of all of these different things now
on the funding of
universities, now we have our House of Assembly committee members on education. I bring them to the conversation now. House of Rep members and in the educational committee, the Senate Committee on Education, I call them out. All the commissioners of education across the country is being called in this matter. The Minister of Education is being called in this matter, and also the Minister for Labor and Productivity. When this whole persons come, because all of them are stakeholders, major stakeholders, you can profess the right thing, so that we can once and for all deal with these things.
That does not happen. That does not happen. That's why ASU wants to go on strike, a 2-week warning strike.
Right now we are always having the issues where government will come and say, I will do this. If you're going to be doing this, put pen on paper.
There is no political will.
And there's a political will, because at the end of the day, you know what government will say?
No will.
When we're talking, they say noted.
No will.
Noted does not mean I'm going to do it.
And that's why they want to go on strike, because there's no will. According to him, it says no reasonable.
How many times? See, the question again, I will ask again. Has the strike really helped out?
And that's what we're asking the question: how far have we fared educationally? And of course, the listeners will have to respond. We have done our part. What is your take on this matter? Nigeria at 65. Are we going to be proud of our educational system in the first place? Are we proud of it anyway? Are we even proud of it? That's the question. 0707 747 1522 0912 000 1975. These are the questions. Are we proud of our educational sector and the situation in our country? Let's hear from you.
Hello.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Saidano Ambakderemo. I'm calling from Monopa community.
Good morning.
65 years after independence, the Nigerian educational system produced tens of millions of inventors, discoverers, innovators, scientists, technologists. Industrialists. The answer is no. So why did this happen? We are not asking ourselves, how can this be made possible? Because if we just drift into the future, I think it will be disastrous. So even we, the citizens, we should begin to think of developing strategic plans, not only depending on politicians or government. If we have creative thinkers, let us come together, develop strategic plans, and implement them. Look for money and implement them. If you succeed in transforming the lives of tens of millions of you, government will be forced to think of what you are doing. Look at what Elon Musk have done in the United States in different industries. That is what we should pursue. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Hello, good morning. We lost it. 0707-747-1522. 0912-000-1975. We're looking at Nigeria at 65. How far have we fared educationally? Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes, this is James So from Pancha.
James So from Pasha. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yes. This our great country, Nigeria, where with measure of education, we cannot proud of education in Nigeria at all. Because since we got independence 1960 to date, if we compare the kind of education we have with America or London, we cannot proud that Nigeria has a good education. For example, they say that civilization started in Africa, which is Egypt, and it is education that make it happening.
Yeah.
And from Egypt to Greek, from Greek to Rome, from Rome to Europe, from Europe to America. And the best university we have in the world, 5 is in America and 2 in Europe. Today, Nigeria cannot proud that they have that quality of education. So for me, if Nigeria can change their attitude and their way of drawing their education and go and study from America and Europe and equate Nigeria education with them, it is there we can proud that Nigeria has good education. Look at private universities like Oyedepo, Kenaland University, Lagos. That one we can compare that is a good university. But in Nigeria own, there is nothing we can accept that is a good quality education. I can stop here for now. Thank you.
Thank you, James So. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's fundamentally people will be concerned, and we're looking at, for me, just make it work. Do the structure, make an enabling environment, bring policies that will really make it happen. And things will go well.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Chico, coming from Obele.
Okay, Chike, please go ahead.
Yeah. When we talk of our educational system, we all have to correct ourselves. What did I mean? You get somebody maybe from primary 2 wanting to go and take a week. Are you being fair to that child? No, it's not. Secondly, every year people graduate. These people that graduate, which plans do you have for them? You call thousands of people that graduate every year. Which plan do they have? Or you just only to go to school and come back? Some of them even buy their results. Where you ask that person to come and defend his own cause, he cannot defend it. Just get the certificate for hand. Come and prove what you learn in school after 4 years, 5 years wasting in education. Come and prove it. Come and practice this in the street. Cannot. You just have the certificate on your hand. Secondly, our fathers, instead of our fathers to train us as a child, which is own responsibility to train a child, you say you are giving students loan. Until you are bold enough to say it openly, say you are giving students loan. My dear, I don't understand that grammar. When you were schooling, you were schooling under scholarship. Maybe community train you, or state train you, or group train you, or you are old and you don't want to train anybody. How fair are you doing? Okay, you come into the personal. You maybe you study science. We can't see where they work for bank. Where do they work for bank now? Maybe as an engineer, they can't work for bank. You leave your field of interest, just cross capital and go to other side. So the thing is just going left and right. You can't even know the value of education now. It's just only just to have that certificate and come back, or is it to learn and practice what you learn? So the thing is very confusing. So we get to put ourselves in order. As we try to go on strike, one back 2006 and thereabout, we have to strike up to 1 year plus. What game we don't get for that they are striking? So all these things they are very confusing. It's just they want to open school. Instead of that person to follow the right way to open school, all you do is just pay money and collect the certificate. You open school. Maybe you just set up one or two places, you go collect certificate, you open school. When you come to that school, you can't even see anything. You school will not get you. School will not get anything to qualify. As we were just talking, which library in this school were maybe in this year go? We go say, okay, no, go for library, go there. No library. If there is any library, it's not functioning. Which country do we find ourselves now? Who do all these things to us? Let's stop here for now.
Thank you, Chike.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Talking about libraries, the president's wife, Remi Tinubu, says she's gonna. She was able to mop up about 20 billion naira to fix the national library. And if the national library is already in a messed up situation, what about the state libraries? It's a national problem, man.
It trickles down.
It's crazy.
It's just very simple.
It's really crazy.
When you go back, okay, coming from Lagos, you had a place like Jakonde schools. Jakonde schools were built by the then civilian governor at the time, Lateef Jakonde. And he went, what did he do? He said, let me do something to the public schools. And he went and ensured that in every local government area, there were schools for free. For the students, for people, for the citizens, and they went there.
I'm not a fan of even loan schemes and all of that. I even heard I think it announced here in Bayelsa State, applauding the loan board thing here in Bayelsa. I am not a fan. It should be free. That's money. There's money.
While I was in school, we had bursary.
Scholarship should be given and not loans.
Beyond all these things, that's why I say the content of our curriculum should have skills. We should have. If you're a child, you've gone through from your primary school, secondary school, you should have learned 2 or 3 skills that will make you be independent.
Yeah. Morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, please. Speak out. Speak up.
My name is Edima Maimi, coming from Amarata.
All right.
Good morning.
All right. Thank you.
So, one of the callers said something that triggered me.
Okay.
He said they were talking about this loan stuff. This thing has been on my mind for a very long time.
Okay.
I don't know why the government will come up with arrangement that the students should take loans. It doesn't make any sense to me. It should be free. If you want to help. Which one is loan? When do they pay? They don't even have guarantee that when they finish school, they will have a job to pay the loan. That's another thing. And you're telling us that we should take loan. Loan for what? And then talking about graduates defending, some of the students, they just go to the school, they are not there because they feel. I'm saying this because I know. They feel that they will not pay and then they will graduate. That's why you see students, they can't defend what they study. I remember when I was very small, my dad, he said he finished only primary 6. You can bring any work for him and he will handle it without looking at anything. He was very intelligent like that. But now, even graduates cannot do homework of primary school students. Because they are not there to learn, even though they are there. The teachers are not willing. They are not even paying teachers well. So teachers want bribes. They want to collect bribes. They are not willing to even teach you properly. So the educational system is very, very corrupt. Very, very corrupt. It's well with our country, Nigeria. People are doing a great job. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you. 65 years of existence. How far have we gone educationally? Terrible situation. We've been able to give out some facts here. What do you think? Hello, good morning.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Owe from Savagria.
It's been a while. Welcome.
Yeah, network issue, my brother.
Okay,
It's
welcome.
something else.
Yes, well, please go
You
ahead.
see, education issue is like we are forgotten. Every institution, I can select the word or many institutions, are they working? And why are they working? Have we asked ourselves that question? My brother, boil down on corruption. There is nothing you will put on place or in order where corruption will not come. And when corruption comes, it kills the whole plan that people have put in. Like, let's start from schools now. Federal government say polytechnic. Where do you say polytechnic, other parts of the country that, or in the world that a polytechnic is supposed to be doing the technology subject or thereabout, practicals and the rest. But Nigerian polytechnic, where they say there is law there. There is banking and finance. There is this thing. All the courses that they are creating there. Why? That is the beginning of the failure of education. Now, who wants to employ those people say you read law in the polytechnic? Where do you want to get the employment? Or you are banking and finance in the polytechnic? They are looking to all those things. So then when I talk corruption is when you see somebody who does not even go to school, he will buy certificate and say he has a first class. He or she cannot defend that first class. So if government, if we are serious, not even government, because as far as if Nigerians are serious, we should reorientate this education system. The education is so porous. Corruption in the country that kills everything, whether the people like it or that is the beginning of failure of every institution in this country. If corruption is a little bit minimized to some stage, I believe all these things we are talking about will think of a past. Because when you've got corruption that you don't go to school, you become head of department because you have bought the certificate. It's not part of the failure of the education. So let me stop there. Lot to say. Thank you very much. Let's other people there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Talking about Uche Nnaji, the Minister of Science and Technology. He has finally admitted that the University of Nigeria, Nsukka UNN, never gave him a degree certificate, confirming earlier reports that he might have forged his academic credentials. And that's because of the too much attention paid to certificates in this country. But even at that, the system made him do what he did.
But according to him, he said that he had finished his 1985 and that they had not given it to him. That's also bad.
And the university came up to say, no, that's not true. So I mean, it's a big. He's asking the university a restraining order not to release his transcript, something like that. The university said, look, he actually attended, but he dropped out. He didn't graduate. So this is a problem.
But
that's a problem with our educational system.
No, but the question is it the first time we're hearing a politician do that?
Oh, so the question? No, it's not the first time.
We had a speaker,
so what happened?
We had a Speaker of the House.
Yeah, at some point, right?
At a point.
And then the ADCs are attacking the president. What have you done to this young man?
You see,
the last caller made it very clear: corruption.
You see, it's just very simple. It's that we turn blind eyes to things that should not be acceptable. I've said we've had too much dependency on certificates rather than what a person is capable of doing. If we give preeminence to skills and initiatives, give preeminence to research and development in our curriculum, I tell you, we'll begin to have the better society.
Absolutely.
That is all that matters and counts.
You have given us what we need to do, and that's the way to go. Just to add to that, we have to raise and more efficiently spend education financing to meet UNESCO's 15 to 20%. For me, that's the beginning point.
Yeah,
we need to raise it from that 5 to 9% to 15%. That's going to be great change. It's just that, as I said, no will to do that because it's there. They know, the government is aware that a benchmark for you to say your education is growing, for you to meet the standard. So you want to meet the standard of the UK, you want to meet the standard of the US and all of the countries, the Canadas and wherever. If you raise yours from 5 to 9% to 15 to 20%, you will meet that standard. But there's no political will to raise and to allocate 20% to education in our country.
But there's a political will for a particular organization to ask that the salaries of the president and other things should be increased.
There is a political will.
right?
Absolutely.
That in the
That's
midst
what we're
in the
saying.
midst- we saw that different administrations prior to this one had rescinded on that, say we're not doing it because it's not the time. But yet on this time, it is coming to the front burner.
That's it now. So if you would do that, why don't you do that for schools? Fund the primary, secondary schools. Make the budget. We're going to be having 2026 budget soon, anytime soon. You know, they start sitting for 2026 budget,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
We are calling here on Golden FM. The UNESCO standard is 15 to 20%. Nigeria, for the past 65 years, we've been doing 5 to 9%. Now we are calling on the government, state governments, federal government. Your budget for education should be 20%, 15 to 20%. That way you'll be able to meet the standard. Otherwise, forget it. And if we can't meet that standard, no government is serious. We can build all the things we want to build. We can put all the structures we want to put.
No,
the structures.
not even the structure.
Yes, now we can build all the roads. We can fix.
When you're doing
Do
all
this
these
and do
things,
that.
Then you can come up with data and say that you've given.
That's the problem.
You are fed 29 billion persons, or bring all the figures. It will not count because at the end of the day, you are making your citizens subservient.
Exactly. So now we're calling on the Bayelsa state government, all state governments, and the federal government. Now it is clear the benchmark at least is 20. You can do more. You can really
Why
make
you
it
are doing
25%.
that? Why you don't? You're talking of the executive arm. Now I call on all the legislative arms,
Good.
from the State House of Assembly
Yes.
to the red chambers, the Senate, and the green chambers, House of Rep members, please, including all of the commissioners of education, the Minister for Education, and everyone, the Minister for Labor and Productivity, everyone that is involved in this. If you are in this circle, let us help ourselves.
Talk to the executive.
Let's do something.
Include that part.
Include the state.
If the executive brings a budget and the percentage allotted to education is below 15%, let the House reject the budget, because that does not mean the standard. And if we want the education standard to grow, we have to take the action. We have to take the action.
Do you still remember that there was a time in this country where we had Ghanaian teachers?
Paul, we have a lot to do and
Well,
a lot
it's
to
fine.
say,
It's-
but we
it's
got to go
fine.
now. We just
It's
have to
fine.
go now.
It's fine.
It's great. It's been insightful. It's really painful that we spent 65 years and the education sector is still messed up the way it is. Now, as I said,
We have made gains.
exactly.
Sure.
We have, indeed. We
but
have.
We should sustain it.
But for me, the gains in the education sector we've made is not enough. Do you know why I'm saying this? We have not met the benchmark.
Thank you.
Simple and short.
End of discussion.
And that's it for today's show. Nigeria 65. How far have we fared educationally? And it's obvious that we've not fared well, even if we've made some gains. But tomorrow we'll be here again to discuss other topics. But thank you so much for your contributions, every one of you. We do appreciate you for joining us and for contributing. We had a great time. My name is Moya Steven.
And my name is Paul Oblomubasa.